Hey everybody, it's Jose Laya. We hope you're doing well. The second quarter of 2025 for the real estate market is in the books. And since the beginning of this year, we've started to do our market updates, focusing on each neighborhood we cover as a single video to allow you to really hone in on the neighborhood of your choice. Whether you currently live there and want to see how the market is doing, or you're considering buying there, we want to be able to put the information in your hands in a quick and easy way. We're also going to look at a lot more data points to be able to give you more details and information as to how the market is doing. We will also give you a breakdown of the sales data, including active listings for sale, closed sales, and we're also going to dive a bit deeper to see what price range most of this activity is taking place in. And we then will wrap things up with our market summary. So today we're going to look at single family homes in Coconut Grove, which is one of the most desired and exclusive neighborhoods in all of Miami. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. So here's our first graph, and what we like to do in neighborhoods that we cover that have waterfront homes, there's a huge disparity in pricing between a waterfront home and a non-waterfront home. We like to highlight that for you to make it easier for you to see it on the graphs. So we depict the waterfront homes in light blue, and then in the black numbers is the non-waterfront homes. And right here we have a breakdown of month over month for the second quarter, April, May, and June. And one thing that stands out right away and that we want to address, look at the number of active listings. It went from 47 in April up to 81 in June. If we just stop and showed you this one graph, you would think, oh my God, listings are up tremendously. Yes and no. We noticed that in every neighborhood that we cover, that we do these videos for, we notice the same trend. So when we dove deeper into the numbers, what we found is that a lot of listings, when they're taken, they're set to expire at the end of the first quarter, or right around March 31st. So when that happens, that date triggers a lot of expireds, they all come off the market. Hence April, you start with a low number, and then look, you go April, May, June, and it ramps up back to 81, which seems like a lot. In the next graph, you'll see that it's actually on par with the neighborhood average. Let's now look at the next few boxes and key indicators here to see if we can spot any trends. Closed sales. That 0 in blue means that there was 0 waterfront homes that sold, which that's why we put it on the graph there. So 14, 17, 17, those are all closed sales for non-waterfront homes. There were 0 waterfront homes that sold for the entire second quarter. Months of supply increased a little bit. Days on market increased month over month. Interesting thing here is that pricing, both the median price per square foot and the median price sold, both decreased month over month since April. Let's now jump to our next graph where we compare the second quarter numbers to the first quarter numbers to see if we can spot any trends. And you'll see what we mean about the number of active listings jumping up. We're here in this breakdown. It seems like a lot, but overall it's on par. Let's take a look at that now. Okay, so here's our next graph where we compare the first to second quarter. And as we pointed out, look at the number of active listings. In the first quarter, there was 80, it ended the quarter with 89 active listings. And then look at the second quarter, it actually ended down versus the first quarter of 81. So even though the prior graph showed you a ramp up from April to June, and it seemed like, wow, there was a huge increase in active listings, it actually came on par and lower than the first quarter. That's why we like to show you, different data points and also different graphs to just try to give you the most details that we can so you can have a great idea as to what is truly happening in the market. We like to show you the data so you can see it for yourself. It's not just us up here talking about what we think is going on in the markets. That's why we like to show you the data so you can see it for yourself. Now, closed sales actually increased. So having active listings decrease and closed sales increase, that's actually a very positive sign for the market. Months of supply decreased. Days on market increased up to 42. But look at the pricing. The median price per square foot and median price sold both increased. So closed sales increased, pricing increased quarter over quarter. Those are pretty strong numbers for single family homes in Coconut Grove. Let's now jump into our last graph, where we have a snapshot of where the market stands today, as well as what price range this activity is taking place in. Let's take a look at that now. Here's our last graph. It's kind of a snapshot of where the market stands today, as well as a price range, to see where it's taking place in and what activity is taking place in these price ranges, both for active listings and closed sales. Let's jump right in. Active listings, 81 active listings, 77 non-waterfront. There's only 4 waterfront homes listed in Coconut Grove. So if you're looking for a waterfront home, Coconut Grove may not be the area for you, given that there's only 4 of them on the market right now. As a matter of fact, if you look at the closed sales for the second quarter, there was 48 closed sales, 0 waterfront homes closed in the entire second quarter. That gives us about 5 months of supply, which is a sign of a very healthy market. To give you some context, 6 to 9 months of supply is considered a balanced or normal market. Anything below that truly favors the sellers in this situation. So at 5 months of supply, that's a pretty strong sign that the market's doing well for single family homes in Coconut Grove. If we look at the price ranges below, we could pretty much see a steady number of closings in all the price ranges from 0 to $1 million, 1 to $3 million. Look at that, 25 closed sales. That's the $1 to $3 million price range is the one that had the most closed sales. Over 50% of them happened in that price range. And look, 3 to 5, you have 10 closed sales, and 5 to 10, 9 closed sales. We want to point out that not only in Coconut Grove, but in all the neighborhoods that we cover, that $10 million plus price range is in the midst of a slowdown. Look at this. For the second quarter, there were 0 closed sales above $10 million in Coconut Grove. This is not only Coconut Grove, this is this is every area that we cover. We've noticed that slowdown. And now that we're in the midst of summer, which is typically a slower selling season, let's see how this all pans out. On this topic, we do like to always cover the lowest priced closed sale and the highest priced closed sale. The lowest priced closed sale, it was a small wood frame house. It was a small 2-bedroom home. It sold for $665,000, while the highest priced closed sale was just under $10 million. It was $9,800,000. Of course, it was a new construction 5-bedroom home, and it sold for a little bit under $1,600 per square foot. So now that we've gone through the numbers, let's jump into our market summary. So in summary, we can see that right now the market for single family homes in Coconut Grove is pretty healthy. And we would say it's a strong seller's market, especially under $5 million, as the market's moving very fast and inventory is low. With the exception of $10 million plus market, all key indicators for single family homes in Coconut Grove seem to be doing well and selling. For buyers looking for homes in Coconut Grove, yes, inventory has increased since April, month over month, but it still remains low. Note that the market moves rather fast here. Even as days on market has increased, it's only increased to 42 days, which is really just over a month. And given that the median price is almost $3 million, those are all indicators of a very strong real estate market. As for trying to time the market, the truth is focus on finding the right home for you and try and negotiate the best price possible, as the market here in Coconut Grove moves fast and there's not much inventory. If you're a seller in the market, you do have the advantage that inventory is low for single family homes here in the Grove, especially under $5 million. It gets to be a bit more challenging above $5 million and even more so at 10 million plus. But again, we're seeing that across all areas. All that being said, we still suggest to price your home at the market or even just a bit below to be able to attract the most attention possible when coming on the market, especially if you need to sell. We will point out buyers are truly exhausted and they're very sensitive to price, especially considering the interest rates still remain high. We also want to point out that the market will reward you for any improvements and updating that you've done to your home. or the market will punish you if your home is outdated. So if you're thinking about selling your home and it hasn't been updated in years, we strongly urge you to consider updating the home to be able to sell for a higher price. Buyers will pay a premium for homes that are in turnkey condition, which is why you are seeing these median prices and these price per square foot of these new construction homes setting records in all the neighborhoods that we cover. So sellers, please take note of this. If your home is not in turnkey condition, more than likely you will have to heavily discount it to attract buyers, and you will more than likely sell it for less than what you had thought was possible. So please take note. That's our second quarter for 2025 market update for single family homes in Coconut Grove. I am Jose Laya. I was born and raised right here in Miami. And as I start my 19th year in the real estate business, I can proudly say that our goal in making these videos is to provide you with value and help as many people as we can by sharing real market data to give you a better insight into the local market. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.